We all know about Bill Gates very well. No doubt. He is considered as a genius and one of the most successful person in the world. But how he became the most richest person in the world? This is a very controversial topic to discuss. Some people think that it was the reward of his extreme hard work and clever business mind, while some people think that he stole the idea of his friend Gary KILDALL. Anyway, today we will be talking about his fascinating but controversial story of success. So be ready to learn. The story started in the year 1977, when Apple just launched their first personal computer, the Apple II. It was an advanced computer of that time, and it became very famous in the whole world very early. This idea became so successful that the PC industry was already worth $1 billion after only 3 years. After watching Apple's success, IBM, which was the biggest tech company of that time and used to sell large mainframe computers, decided to develop a modern computer like Apple II to compete with the modern technologies. Till 1980, IBM had developed their own PC design, but the only thing they were short of was the most important thing, which was an operating system. An operating system is a software which performs all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, handling input and output, and controlling peripheral devices such as disk drives and printers. Just like Windows. This was the point where the things started getting more and more interesting, as IBM was the biggest tech company of that time. So it was very essential for them to build a perfect OS. The stakes were high. Any mistake here could change the history. IBM contacted Microsoft for making an operating system for them. At this time, Bill Gates had started Microsoft only 5 years ago. Before telling anything to Bill Gates, IBM asked him to sign a non-disclosure contract, and he had to keep IBM's plan a secret. Bill Gates agreed and signed it. After that, IBM demanded an operating system that they wanted to use in their PC. But Bill Gates claimed that Microsoft had no operating system at the moment, and he cannot work with them. But Gates told him about a person who could help them, named Gary KILDALL. Gates told them that he was a genius and expert of computers. In 1971, Gary KILDALL built first single operating system for all computers named CPM. Means an operating system that could work in any computer. Before CPM, every computer had an inbuilt operating system which could work only in that specific computer. But Gary changed it completely. Despite this, Gary KILDALL was not much interested in business matters and was manufacturing these just because it was his passion. He never thought of earning dollars from computers. But his wife Dorothy convinced him to start a company where he could sell his creations, which led to a company called Digital Research. This company, Digital Research, became so successful very early, and Gary KILDALL was comparable to Bill Gates. Returning to the story, considering the advice of Bill Gates, IBM visited Gary's home. Gates warned Gary on call that someone important is coming to visit you. But he could not tell him exactly who is that important person because of his non-disclosure agreement. Bill Gates said, "Gary, I have got some people coming around to visit. Treat them right. They are important guys." Gary didn't took Bill seriously and thought that a small company is coming to meet him for some business plans. But he didn't know that the company whom he thought was small was the biggest tech company on earth at that time. Unfortunately, Gary wasn't home when IBM visited him. He was on one of his private planes, and Gary's wife Dorothy, who was also the head of operations in Digital Research, was all alone in the house. The officers of IBM began to push her to sign her a non-disclosure contract, the same agreement that they offered to Bill Gates. Dorothy wasn't impressed by this and refused to sign that agreement. As IBM was the biggest tech company, the officer could not bear the rejection and became frustrated with her decision and decided to leave Gary's house. After a few days, IBM again contacted Bill Gates and told him about the incident at Gary's house. Bill Gates, instead of giving Gary a second chance, decided to claim it for himself. He told IBM that even though they don't have an operating system, that they can make one for them. Because he knew that IBM had the potential to change Bill Gates' life. Instead of making it by himself, he decided to buy an operating system from a small company named Seattle Computers for $75,000. The operating system was called KILDALL, or Quick and Dirty Operating System. If you are wondering that it's a bit weird name, there is a reason behind it. This OS was an exact copy of Gary's OS, CP/M. Bill Gates knew that it was a copy of Gary's CP/M, so he altered it a little and gave it to IBM. This operating system was named as MS-DOS, or Microsoft Dirty Operating System, which was later officially changed to Microsoft Disk Operating System, and that MS-DOS eventually became the Microsoft Windows, which we all use today in our PC and laptops. With the help of Bill Gates, IBM launched their first PC in 1981, which became very famous. IBM sold 2 million computers in just first 2 years and overtook Apple as the largest PC manufacturer. Bill Gates also started getting more and more rich by selling this MS-Dirty Operating System to other companies too. On the other hand, Gary KILDALL was aware of all the situations and threatened to sue Gates and IBM. As a settlement, IBM agreed to offer CP/M alongside with MS-DOS with every PC sold. Means people could choose by themselves which OS do they want to use. Gary KILDALL was finally happy. But his happiness didn't last for too long. When the packages were released, MS-DOS was being sold for $40 while CP/M for $240. As both the softwares were almost identical, so why people would give $200 extra for CP/M? Which obviously crushed his creation. Gary had lost to a duplicate copy of his own creation. After all these incidents, Gary was so depressed that he never bothered to sue Microsoft and IBM. Gary tried to tell everyone that MS-DOS was originally the idea of him. He used to say that Bill Gates even can't explain some of the features of it, because it is not made by him. But no one believed him. Wherever he went, everybody talked about his failure. It also had a great impact on his physical and mental health. He divorced his wife, and because of depression he was addicted to drugs and alcohol. Sadly, in 1994, Gary was in intoxication at a biker bar, where he had a fist fight, which caused him serious head injuries, and he could not survive that. Many people think that Bill Gates did his job by giving him an opportunity, and it was Gary's fault that he didn't consider Bill Gates' warning seriously, while some say that after all it was a creation of Gary KILDALL, and Bill Gates stole it for his own profit. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. If you guys are still watching, so please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel and touch that bell icon for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.